Goodbye, Maria, I'm off to Korea, far across the sea. It's the same old story, and it's up to Old Glory to win another fight for liberty. So keep...
It is December 1950, the beginning of the Korean War. Despite the valiant efforts made by General Almond and MacArthur, the troops were losing the war. General Almond's forces have been stopped in Chongjin Lake Valley by the Chinese. It is the middle of winter, and the U.S. forces are unprepared. General Almond, realizing that he is fighting a losing battle, calls a full retreat to the coastal city of Hungnam. Following the Allies are hundreds of thousands of North Koreans, friendly to the Allied forces, running from the wrath of the Chinese and the communist takeover of their country.
Well, good morning here. We're at the SS Lane Victory, the only surviving fully operational victory ship from World War II left in the entire world today. I'm here with Alexander Scott here. He has asked me to give you a briefing on the Lane Victory's role in the Korean conflict. In the fall of 1950, Douglas MacArthur and his troops were pushing the North Koreans north after they had invaded into South Korea against the UN resolutions. The Chinese people came along and combined with the North Korean, and they started pushing MacArthur and his troops back south beneath the 38th parallel, ultimately trapping them in the port of Hungnam. The decision was made to evacuate the United Nations soldiers. There was no provision initially to evacuate the 100,000 North Korean refugees that had assembled in there. The general at the time, General Almond, had just made plans to evacuate the United Nations troops. Along came a very young physician named Mr. Hyun, who worked over successive days and weeks to convince the General Almond and the United Nations powers that be that rescuing 100,000 North Koreans from slaughter was a good idea.
Over 100,000 civilian refugees from the Hungnam area are taken to freedom along with the troops, but thousands must be left behind to the uncertain mercy of the communists. The refugees pour down to the docks until every available ship is jammed. Their eagerness to abandon their homes and possessions is pitiful proof of their fear of the communist regime. These people, who have known Red domination, give dramatic evidence that they have had enough. Every effort is made to evacuate as many as possible to the Busan area. Busan is already swarming with hundreds of thousands of refugees who have fled from other parts of Korea. This huge migration poses a major problem to UN authorities. Loaded down with their few belongings or a baby, the refugees push forward to the ships.
For the next 3 weeks, the final 3 weeks of December 1950, 200 ships were involved and moved into the port of Hungnam and evacuated 175,000 UN soldiers, 100,000 North Korean refugees, about 365,000 tons of supplies and ammunition, as well as some 17,000 vehicles like jeeps and trucks and that type of thing. So over a 3-week period, this massive evacuation took place, which turned out to be the largest humanitarian evacuation other than the evacuation of Normandy. Once that was completed, the port of Hungnam was blown up on Christmas Eve, December 24th, 1950, ahead of the advancing Chinese. The Lane Victory's role was very, very prominent. The Lane Victory was one of the 200 ships. She took on 7,009 North Korean refugees in one load and moved them south to safety. As miraculous as that is, there was another ship called the Meredith Victory, a sister ship to the Lane Victory. It was even more spectacular. The Meredith Victory was one of the very last of the 200 ships to leave Hungnam. Her captain declared that he was not going to leave or lift the gangway until every last refugee that wanted to go was aboard. He ultimately sailed Hungnam with 14,000 North Korean refugees stuffed in the decks of his 455-foot ship, and navigated his way through the mined harbor and Chinese shelling, and safely moved his way south and delivered actually about 14,010 North Korean refugees, as there were 5 little babies born on board. So it's quite a remarkable story. There's more information called the Ship of Miracles if you want to read about that. But the evacuation in Hungnam, the Americans played a huge role, as did the Lane Victory. Thank you very much. I'd like to make a little distinction between the Merchant Marine and a Navy ship. I know the ship is painted gray, but it's not a Navy ship. A Merchant Marine is very different from a Navy ship. Navy ships are not built, they're designed to move cargo. They have big guns and planes for aircraft carriers and things of that nature. A merchant ship is designed to move cargo from point A to point B. Well, in World War II, the Merchant Marine, the civilian seamen of the United States Merchant Marine, participated in every single invasion of World War II, because as troops landed ashore or troops moved inland, they needed the supply. So the Merchant Marine was behind every invasion with the supplies necessary. It took 7 tons of supplies to support one soldier for 1 year in World War II. So we had millions of soldiers all over the globe. So as you can imagine, it took a staggering amount of cargo that had to be moved all over the world to support our soldiers.
This is one of the actual holds. This is hold number 1 on the Victory ships. It's cold down here. These rafters will be full of people all the way back, shoulder to shoulder. People piled on top of people.
If you want to see a little bit more information on this story that I've just told you, come on down to the SS Lane Victory. We're located at berth 49. That will be effective March 1st, 2013. Right now we're right around the corner at berth 46. But we are open every day from 11 to 4. We're closed on Thursdays. You can come down. It's a very minor cost of $5 per person. But we have multiple museums. The ship is a museum in itself. And 2 of our cargo holds are devoted to maritime artifacts, and we have a very large section of the museum devoted to the Korean conflict. So you can see great pictures of of the Hungnam Evacuation, as well as the Lane Victory's activity in